What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Meet the Critical Podcast. I am Kyle.
And I'm Joe.
And I got to tell you, kids, it's not every day. I don't want to get emotional about this, but it is not every day that we have a celebrity of this caliber on the show. And I can see him laughing down there because we were just talking about how annoying it is that people call us celebrities on TikTok. But we have somebody that I've been trying to get for a long time, and he has finally graced us with his presence. Farmer Fran, welcome to me. I can't even get the rest of it out. What's up, buddy?
Hello, everybody.
Right. we were just chatting a little bit before this. We were doing our TikTok chats. I'm sure. Listen, we have an hour here. I'm sure we'll get to it, so we'll skip over it for now. Fran, tell us a little bit about yourself. Who are you? What do you do?
Well, I'm Farmer Fran, bovine expert. I have 18 doctorates in verbally assaulting beef.
I haven't put it in the description.
I just got back from a trip in India where I was trying to tame some water buffalo, and that was real awakening.
Mixing them in with your Angus.
I brought my studies back to America, and here I am. And now I'm just going state to state and trying to bring awareness about malaria to small children.
Now listen, I'm gonna go off on a limb. I am no bovine expert, but I know how you enjoy red cows so much. I don't think introducing water buffalo genetics into your Angus is going to do you any good. Because listen, you're going from a polled Angus to all of a sudden now you're going to have something that's just opening convenience stores all over your pastures. Like,
well, the thing is they're willing to work and run a small business for less profit. That's what it takes. Far fewer acres of grass to run that water buffalo.
Yeah.
And
3 minutes.
The reproduction rate of them is outstanding.
Outstanding.
5 to 1. 5 to
My
1.
question is, how do they handle the verbal abuse?
Well, I can't really. They talk in yickety yak, so I don't know what they're saying back.
Well, no, hold on. Yaks are completely.
I don't know
thing.
if they're insulted or if they're trying to insult me back.
Man,
that's the dilemma I'm in right now.
We're going to go behind the curtain a little bit again. Before we started this, we had the conversation. Fran asked us, how far can we go on this show? And it's like, we haven't gotten kicked off yet, but we usually try to save the debauchery for about trying for a half hour. Usually we only make it about 15 minutes. We made it 2 minutes. I'm fine with it, but
I think the only one that's hit that record with us is Brian.
Yeah. Our friend Brian from the Lots Project. Go give him a follow. He's going through some stuff with his computer. He will be back. He will be a phoenix that rises from the ashes. But usually when he's on, it's seconds. We're in it already. It's great. But it's, again, usually this is no longer a farming podcast. We're talking about.
Oh, well, we can get back on the topic.
Oh, no. Listen, we're 57 episodes into this farming and butchering podcast. We maybe have talked farming and butchering like a cumulative,
quarter of that, maybe.
I was going to say 2 hours. As a whole, we have 57 hours of this podcast. We've probably talked farming and butchering for a good 2 hours.
I don't know. The round table that I hopped on originally with you and Tiffany and Josh, I think we stuck with farming and butchering. It was like a therapy session, but we were still on that concept.
Right. Well, that's what happens when you get 4 butchers in a room. We all just talk about how hard our lives are and nobody knows about it.
Yeah. So, for me,
row croppers.
It's just hard to talk about farming and stuff for me.
Yeah.
I mean, that's literally today, you know, like I went out, I looked at some drought ass corn, looked at some hailed ass corn, called my dad, you know, and was like talking about, I think I'm gonna chop this and this, you know, like it's all I talk about, you know, and then you see those people, I'm not even gonna name the podcast because I'm not like wanting to like poo talk other podcasts, but like as a farmer myself, I don't really like to watch that type of stuff. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
it's just, to me, it's just boring. Like I sit in a tractor all day, you know, and I mean,
Right.
and I mean, I will talk farming, but you know, I mean,
Well, it's like, I mean, I understand that. Like, I'm in the shop all day, or I'm building something, or I'm doing something, and I constantly have a podcast in, because the only way to make my voices go away is to have somebody else's voice in my ear. So I'm always listening to something, and it's majority comedy. Like, again, anyone who's ever watched this show knows that, just because of me as a person. So it's when it comes on to something like this, where it is like, we are based on farming and butchering, but that is solely for our guests, because we have other farmers and butchers on, because we know we're good people, and we have a good conversation for an hour that has it. Again, it all weaves itself back in. Like, we always get back to it, because that's what our lives are, and that's what our stories are. So instead of us going, well, I think you should plant seeds 6 inches apart where my neighbor does it 8 inches apart, instead we go, hey, I knew this one guy, and you'll never believe what he did in a combine at 2 a.m. Like that, like that's what this podcast is for. It's not, if you're coming here for the information, you might get it, but mostly you're here for the laughs.
But that also might be selfish of me, though, to say too, because people might be here to listen to farming. In which, if anybody wants, you know, has like a farming question, you know, drop it in the comments.
Well, that's the nice thing. That's the nice thing about it, is that we still are those people. So we do have, every now and then we'll have a random straggler come in off of like YouTube For You page, and it's like, why are you here? Thank you for being here. And they ask a genuine question, and we'll go off on a 15-minute tangent about, this is what we would do. We've done this. But then that always folds back into, there was this one time my buddy took the 2 ends of a fence charger and put them up. Like, that's how it goes every time.
All right. So kind of going back to a comment that you made, I think that's a good conversation starter. What does everybody listen to when you're working? Because anymore, I mean, everybody's got earbuds in.
Oh, yeah.
No matter what you're doing, you listen to something. So, Kyle, what do you listen to when you're out there butchering up a hog?
I am 90% comedy. I am listening to comedians like say the darkest thing possible, because like that's my type of humor. Because I'm usually, while I'm listening to it, like I've literally had an headphone in, dropped a hog, and then like somebody dropped a really funny line on a podcast, and I'm sitting there like, if anyone ever drove by or walked by, they heard bang, like it's awful. And then of course I have, naturally, because I am just me for a living, I have like the geopolitical podcasts as well. But then again, the ones I listen to are mostly comedy based as well. Like, it's normal dudes talking about what's going on, and it's like dudes that have been in the military and things, people who actually can like understand and break it down for dummies like me. So that's what I'm based around of. So then I do content myself, and that's how it comes out. Anyone who follows me knows that already. Like, it's dark humor. That's what gets me through everything.
Other than you have lost most of your credibility since you came out as a Nickelback fan.
Says you.
What do you have to say about that?
Says you. You're the only one who says that. Every other comment on there is like, fucking Nickelback's amazing. Nickelback is one of those bands that you can say you hate them. You can say you hate them, but you know the words to like almost every one of their popular songs. I guarantee you, so if we put on Rockstar, by the second chorus, you're singing every single word and thinking about the music video, and it's like, oh my God, those were the Girls Next Door girls in the music video. That's crazy. Like,
when I was like in junior high, on my iPad, like we're talking like the prehistoric iPod days.
Yeah.
But like they barely had a screen. I used to go to bed at night just listening to Nickelback on repeat.
Of course you did.
Of course I did. I got made fun of on the school bus because when Rockstar came out, I jammed it. It was about like a 35-minute ride from the school to my house on Nickelback. And,
Oh yeah.
And I just sat there and listened to Rockstar and repeat literally the entire time. And this pretty hot girl that was my kind of neighbor was like, I got up to get off and she's like, you literally listened to Rockstar by Nickelback the entire way home. And I'm like,
Of course.
jealous you don't have an iPad Nano.
Just turn it back on him. Just turn it back on him. I have to call out.
And honestly, I probably haven't listened to Nickelback for like 20 years.
She wrecked you. She wrecked you.
I just, that is one band that I do not go back to. Almost as, don't be hating on Creed.
Exactly. Pimpin' Eyes. I can't stand Nickelback. Almost as bad as Creed. You know what? You know what, Pip? We don't like that type of negativity on our program. All right?
Pip,
so why don't you calm yourself down? Now,
Usually Pip's the positive one on here.
I will always welcome you with arms wide open. But
do you know how many first? You know how many first kisses were taken to Creed playing in the background?
I'm pretty sure all of them. I'm pretty sure if it wasn't, just God superimposes it on your memory.
Yeah. Oh gosh. I'm still jamming to Nickelback.
Oh, I mean daily. There's a reason I use it.
Backwoods Butcher.
There's a reason I use it in most of my TikToks. And honestly, for whatever reason, I know why. Because Nickelback is awesome, and my audience is our age. So as soon as you put Nickelback on, it usually does pretty well. Like whatever algorithm it is.
Right.
Dave Matthews Band all the way. Go back to the shop, Pip. Go back to the shop.
So that's something that we should talk about is the age.
Well, hold on. Joe, right. What are you listening to?
What do I listen to? Yeah. Depends on who's here.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, now we got, people in and out with the construction and whatnot, right. But I listen to a lot of podcasts, and that's anything from farming stuff, a little bit of comedy stuff, different things. Some of it I listen to like financial stuff because I'm trying to figure out the wrong turn I made in life and how I'm a piece of shit.
I forget you're smart. You're smart.
But then I'll listen to music, different genres of music. I don't like listening to one thing. Like it gets boring. I get bored listening to just country or just rock or just whatever. I try to go through the motions with everything because I can't do it. I'd rather shut everything off and work in silence before I listen to the same thing over and over and over.
Oh, that's the way I am. Like, I've been running the tractor since I was like 10 years old, and I literally, until I crack a beer in the evening on the tractor, before that, I cannot listen to music. Because it doesn't matter I've listened to old country, new country, pop. I literally know every song to almost every song, or every word to every song that's been out in the last 25 years. Because I've spent so much time in a tractor, I cannot listen to music anymore on the tractor. So I'm an ebook guy. My Audible, I got ebooks.
Yeah, for me, I'm so used to working in a shop that I didn't have control over what the music was.
Right.
Like every now and then I would, but also my taste is awful. So no one wanted me to. So I can't listen to music while I work. The only time I ever listen to music is in the truck. That is the only time. And really that's just in the summertime because the windows are down. And I'm one of those people that I want to hear every word to a podcast. So if the windows are down, I don't want to. Oh, I see it. I saw it. I was going to bring it up. No, I'm not a Swiftie.
I am.
You can't.
I'm a Swiftie.
Listen, there are a handful of songs that I
Teardrops on My Guitar. I listened to that song and wept myself to sleep for a year and a half straight.
There is one I like.
I love Taylor Swift when she was first starting out country. Pop Taylor Swift, not so much.
When she first started out, the first couple songs, I'm like, all right. And then I went to a concert and she opened up for it, and I heard her sing in person. I'm like, nope, not
So
happening.
he's
Garbage.
not a good live performer.
She might be now. I mean, it's been years and years.
Now
but
she's
no.
the best live performer now, statistically.
One of the best live concerts I ever went to was an Eric Church concert. And that's a name you don't even hardly hear anymore.
Yep.
I mean, Zach Brown Band is still one of the best concerts I've been to. Kid Rock. Kid Rock is the #1 concert I have ever been to. Even people that I know that have been dragged to Kid Rock concerts that they didn't really like Kid Rock, but all their friends were going. So it's like, we'll go to a Kid Rock concert. You know the word to every single Kid Rock song, no matter who you are in the world. He plays every single instrument on the stage, including like the DJ booth, has 4 or 5 costume changes. It is the best concert you will ever go to. And it's all just us. Like, again, you go to some concerts and it's like, I really like this person, but their audience isn't exactly
right.
Like, you're the outlier that you like their music. And again, when you go to like a concert where it's your base of people there and it's like, this is the coolest thing ever. Like, you get in a conversation that you end up walking away with 2 wacky tobacco cigarettes because that guy that was behind, like 2 people behind you, grew up 2 towns away from you. Like, one of those situations, not saying that happened. That could be purely hypothetical.
Of course.
But
I feel like Kid Rock, you can just see it. Like, the guy has the energy.
It's amazing.
To captivate an audience.
Yeah. He's another person I've absolutely based a bunch of my internet personality on. Again, it all makes sense.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
I can just picture Kyle in his bathroom practicing in the mirror, listening to his Kid Rock. And
literally on the way home. On the way home, there's a Kid Rock song I was listening to. And I was like, oh, yeah, it was Never Met a Motherfucker Quite Like Me. And you know, at the very end of that, where he's just, you ain't never. I plan on doing that with my wife.
Right,
and just having her be the other person, be like, there's more than just you in the world.
This is a hilarious Kid Rock story. So, like, when I was probably like 8, maybe 10 years old, and we're going like way back in time to like, you remember those things that were called compact disc players, where you had to have a cord and headphones?
Yeah.
Like we're talking back in the Stone Age when people
I remember shoveling snow with one of those and then begging my mom for a non-skip one.
I stole my dad's, and it had a Kid Rock CD in it. And I can't remember what song it was, but when he brings the midget on stage to sing, you know what song I'm talking about? That Kid Rock song?
Yeah. What is that one?
Gosh darn it. I can't remember now.
Wait, what did you say? What did you say to describe it?
When he brings a midget on stage.
That Kid Rock song where the midget sings. Says he's got a donkey dick.
I know which one you're talking about.
So anyways, I was just listening to that Kid Rock CD on repeat as a 10-year-old.
Naturally.
My grandparents on my mother's side are just super religious. And so I took my CD player, of course, to my grandparents' house. And I'm just listening to that song on repeat. My grandpa's like, what are you listening to? So I put the headphones on his ears right as that midget comes on, and he's talking about having a donkey dick and stuff. And my grandpa just takes the headphones off, just sets them down on the couch and looks at me and walks away. This generation is fucked. This guy was, yes, devil without a cause.
Yes. Yes.
So,
and I will address Haas. Haas, yes, absolutely. I love all of those people you just mentioned. Yeah, I mean, I feel like a 10-year-old hearing Kid Rock for the first time is on the same level as like a 10-year-old finding a Playboy for the first time. That is a changing moment in a young man's life.
And I mean, I would just go to bed at night and I literally would just listen to that Kid Rock CD on repeat, going to sleep every single night. And like, you got to think I was like 10-year-old kid. And where was my dad? Like, hey, where's my? And I mean, that was high class. I mean, that thing probably cost like $50 back then, which is like $20,000 today. And my dad was just letting his little kid run around with it, play frisbee with it for a while, stick the headphones back in, listen to some Kid Rock, learn some new cuss words. Maybe that's why I'm the way I am today.
You're looking at the girl. I mean, yes, absolutely, yes. You're looking at the girl on the bus that was making fun of you for Nickelback. It's like, you're jealous of my donkey dick.
Hung like a field mouse.
We didn't even make, again, I was hoping we were going to bring it back 20 minutes. We didn't make it to the half-hour mark. It was bad right from the start, but I love it.
Yeah. So I think one topic I was going to hit on, but we didn't get through everybody's genres yet, but is the age gap on social media. And as old fox like us, I mean, to 15-year-old kids, we're old. I mean, we're ancient. I mean,
we're ancient to 15-year-old kids.
Like we're freaking, Civil War veterans to them.
Might as well be.
I mean, like 33 years old, when you're 15, 33 is 80. You're like, never be 30. I will never be 30 years old. So how do you create content? And, TikTok claims, our users aren't, 90% of them aren't under 18 years old, but they are. So how do you captivate an audience? And the thing about them kids is the best way I explain it, trying to get them to be engaged on a video, they have the attention span of a toddler on methamphetamines.
Yep.
Right. Is the best way.
I have a very easy answer to that.
You literally have 2 seconds to captivate. Everybody says it takes 8 seconds, but no. Like 2 seconds is.
I have a very easy answer to that. I don't. I don't. I put zero effort into making it inclusive for the younger generation. I am solely going for my age group and like possibly 20s. Like,
and I mean, I don't like try either.
Right.
I mean, I just do my thing, and it does cap. Like I think 80% of mine is what they consider 18 to 20, which means 13 to 20.
Right.
So the young kids do find me funny for some reason, but.
I mean, for some reason, you're swearing at cows in almost every video. It's the funniest thing on the planet. If you were also making fart sounds, it would be the funniest video on the planet. You have the entire algorithm. You
know what I just realized? That 10-year-old farmer Fran listening to Kid Rock.
You're Kid Rock.
Yeah, I'm Kid Rock, and those are the 10-year-old me back then.
Right.
And and it's like I'd have like a lot of dips in and stuff, doing videos and lives, and they'd, what kind of, they would ask like, what kind of chew do you chew, and so I stopped doing that. It's like, all right, like at least if you're gonna set an example, even though I am cussing at cows, there's a lot of things that I regret, like starting dipping when I was 15 years old because I thought it was cool. So there are lines that I would like to follow, and I mean, coming from somebody that literally cusses at cows for income, maybe I can't talk about morals, but
see, I've lost that. Again, I have zero. If your kid is on TikTok at 13 and comes across one of my videos, you are a bad parent. Like, I give Joe shit all the time because I am a celebrity to Joe's kids. Yeah. Joe's kids watch every one of my YouTube videos, and every time he tells me that, I just go, I am so sorry. Be a better parent. Like I literally address it in like when I do YouTube videos, which I have one in the can. It needs to go up. It's gonna go up tomorrow. But like I'll say something completely off color and like bad, and then I'll literally just zoom into my face, like put my head off the side of the cow and just be like, sorry, Joe. Like, and just zoom back out. Like, I'm just going to address that right away.
And it's nothing that my kids don't hear from me on a regular basis. But to be honest with you, I'd rather them watch stuff from you guys versus some of the other stuff that's out there that they could stumble upon.
The crap that's on YouTube anymore. I mean, it's like you see that stuff and you're like, what in the world is going on here?
Yep.
I've been in that fight with my wife. She's like, because I don't want the kids on YouTube at all. Even on the kids side. I don't want them. I don't want them on YouTube. And my wife's like, you're on YouTube. And I was like, exactly my point. Like,
yeah, we're the same way with our kids. We don't let them on YouTube unless we're there present, watching what they're watching, because it don't matter. They could start on your video and they could end up on something way different in like 30 seconds.
There's just some weird crap on there. It's like my sister, her daughter, when she was like 4 or 5 years old, she had like a huge YouTube addiction. And my sister finally had to kick her off. She's like, the stuff she was watching that was for kids. And she goes, it was just completely effed. I mean, hard to even explain, just completely weird. Like, what in the world? Who knows what it is?
Yeah, and it's like my daughter tries to watch like people playing with the Paw Patrol figurines and like making an episode with them. And I'm like, no, because guess what? You know what's going to happen? Because you know what's going to happen is, at least I know what is going to happen is, I'm just going to zone out. I'm not going to be paying attention to what they're actually saying. And it's like, guess what? It's not actually Paw Patrol, so they don't have to be family friendly. They could say they're family friendly, but they don't have to.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just it's weird. It's kind of scary, really. I mean, we're coming up in a new age, and it really is a new age, and we're part of it. We're definitely part of it.
That's the weird part of it.
I mean, when we were kids, we could not, and I mean, YouTube was a thing when we were kids, but it was, I mean, the YouTube we grew up with was, I loved YouTube back then. Completely different.
Well, the YouTube we grew up on was the YouTube we grew up on,
music
in a way, it was, but there also really wasn't anybody monitoring it. So anything was going up. So technically, our YouTube was way more aggressive. But now it's just weird. Like now it's just odd.
So we're coming to an age to where minds are literally, probably when we grew up, you were most influenced by your teachers in school.
Yeah.
Would you
agree? Spend most of your time with them.
Yeah. And now
I hate it all.
Young minds are more influenced by what they see on the internet.
Right.
And you look at, I'm not going to go into politics with this, but you look at sides of politics that are investing money into content creators and trying to shape minds.
Yep.
I mean, something to think about. And I mean, we don't need to dive into that because I don't, fuck politics, but I mean, that's good food for thought.
Right. Yep. The ones that I don't get is the kids that have gotten so disconnected and lazy, they don't even play video games. I mean, video games is bad enough.
Watch people play video games.
They watch people play video games and they just sit there and stare at it like they can't even bring themselves to play the video games.
I have to admit something now. I have to come completely clean on something. Zach in the audience is already laughing because he knows exactly what I'm going to say. I never understood Twitch. I never understood it at all. But I now have a new herbal supplement at night addiction. Do you guys remember the game Zoo Tycoon when we were kids?
Yeah.
Like Roller Coaster Tycoon.
All of those. Yep.
I didn't always look like this. I was just a skinny kid that was raised with a single mom that didn't have any friends. So I played a lot of that game. They have a new one. And they basically took that game and like the CAD engineering program, how you can build things and like do whatever, and combined them. And I randomly found that one night on YouTube, and I have been hooked. I wait until my wife falls asleep because she calls me a loser when I watch it. But it's just dudes building these immaculate, realistic zoos on the computer at 5 times the speed. And I'll watch 10 of them back to back. Like, I finally understand Twitch. I finally understand why they make so much money. And I'm like, But then, of course, now I'm in this content brain. And I'm like, well, if I was to get this, I could start a new YouTube channel on top of my other YouTube channel, and I could do this and make money on this too. Like it's a sickness. It is a sickness, and it is a good thing I do not have a computer that could handle it.
I get questions all the time, like, Farmer Fran, do you play Farming Simulator? Like, I literally could just live stream me playing Farming Simulator,
Right.
and get. And it's a good buddy that I've met off of TikTok. He's got young kids. He's got a set of twin boys that are like 5 years old, and he goes, all they do now is watch somebody on YouTube play Farming Simulator. He goes, they don't play it. They just watch somebody play it.
Right.
Mhm.
And listen, it's not lost on me. I play Zoo Tycoon every day. Every day.
We'll
I'm
record it.
living in the game. But there's still that nerd part in the back of my brain that's like, I can have tapirs and red stag. Oh, look at that. That guy made a wedding venue. Oh, it's not like, it's so dumb. It's so dumb. Like, I'm fully admitting. But I'm also going to say, as soon as we get off this and after I have some herbal supplements, more than likely, I will be watching someone build a exhibit for raccoons. I guarantee it.
It's a generational gap. You know, to us, it's silly. But, you know, what we were into as kids, you know, beating possums with sticks and stuff, kids nowadays don't understand why we did that for fun.
Yeah.
You know, just like we don't understand why
I was so not prepared for that example. I was expecting to hear, like, go out in the woods and build a fort, or like meet at the gas station.
Part about it is,
buddy. You know, you guys remember when we were beating possums with sticks?
And we're all like, "Yup, yeah, we did that."
I know exactly what you're talking about, but
I remember the first possum that L. Ron and I bagged walking home in the 3rd grade.
Jimmy's still got that scar on his face.
Had his head stuck in a Cheetos bag in the gutter.
There's too many details for that not to be true now. But no, you're absolutely, and it's like, I don't understand now, like, people my age playing Call of Duty. Like, I don't understand the people that, like, I don't. And it's like, I was talking to someone about it the other day, and it's like, it's a good release. Like, it's a good, like, you get, and it's like, I was thinking about it, and I'm like, again, I do that every day. Like, I'm actually firing weapons and putting them into things and doing whatever. I don't have time to do that. But for some fucking reason, Planet Zoo is calling me like a friggin' like a siren song. I used to be big in like playing video game, like Call of Duty and stuff. Oh,
you know,
of course,
we're talking like 15 years ago. You know, I hit about.
Oh, you mean when you were a teenager?
Well, yeah. I mean, basically, yeah. When I was young, you know, and now
when you had time to do things,
it's not fun anymore. And I mean, I haven't played for years, but I think when it became less fun was because, you know, all my high school buddies that I played with, you know, just slowly life picked one by one. They just fell off. That, you know, when you're the last one on there and you're not playing with people, you know, it's just not fun anymore. I think that's what made it so fun, was you were just, you know, on there with your buddies, horse jacking around, giving each other crap in the chat.
Right. And that's what was fun about it. You're absolutely right. As soon as you're playing with other people that you don't know, it's like, what are we doing? Because I was that kid. I had the headset. I had a team, like, from all over the country. Like, I had all of it. And it's like, then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, vagina's a thing. Okay, I don't want to do this anymore. Like,
I never had any of that. Like, I never played video games. I mean, I played like the Zoo Tycoon and stuff like that here and there, but I just don't have the patience for it, because I feel like when I was a kid, I was like, I'd rather be outside building something or doing something. Then I started working full time when I was in, I don't know, like 14, 15 years old. So that was my full, you know, I was going to school and then work full time. So I didn't have the time to do it. I am.
Well, see, I didn't get to play video games until after.
And you're proving my point. You're proving my point. What I said earlier. I don't make content for kids. I love Gage. Gage, you're awesome. Listen to your mom and dad. don't. No, I'm not going to say that because that's just no. All right, listen to your mom and dad. I was going to say something, and then he's going to be like, "What's that?" Never mind.
He's going to learn eventually.
I know he is. Stay away from horse girls. I'll say that one out loud.
Yeah, I'll definitely stay away from. Or if you don't want to stay away from them, just have a good time, but don't get serious. Because you and everybody else in the county is going to be taking that for a ride.
If he sticks with the rodeo stuff, he's going to have a hard time staying away from horse girls.
Well, yeah. I mean,
but he'll be we say
that. It's kind of like
the
all of us say that we're not going to do
him.
That. Right. I commented on one video where they were talking about that the other day, and they're like, "Well, you just need to find this type of horse girl." And I was like, "I always tend to find the horses make my voices go away type of horse girls, and those are the ones you want to stay away from."
Next time Zach's on, we got to ask his opinion because I can see the comment down here already.
Well, yep. Oh well, no, he's married to a horse girl.
Exactly, that's why I said
operation.
Damn it,
Bree, I love you. But also, we all know Bree. She's fantastic, and we love her.
I'm gonna have. Well, that's the problem with horse girls. They're hard to stay away from.
Yeah, exactly.
What happens when you put a ring on it? Well, it depends on what kind of jokes we want to get into.
Well, Joe, your son just said, "Yeah, I'm gonna have a hard time staying away from horse girls." Well, I think listening to my podcast or our podcast and my YouTube videos is at least a year where he's now. Now he should watch them. Now,
Gage has been flirting with girls since he was like 6 months old. So,
yeah. Listen, I mean, my daughters are going to be those horse girls that we are warning of. Your
daughters are going to be the most dangerous horse girls because not only are they going to like horses and spend a bunch of money on them, they're going to know how to dismember the guy that screws them over.
Yeah, I've gotten to the point now where I am less like, okay, let's kind of figure this out to nope. Now we're going full Assassin's Creed, and I'm just going to train you to be the most efficient killer you possibly can. Like I'm just gonna I'm just gonna train you. I'm gonna mold you to make you as strong as possible.
They are gonna be married to the skinniest, scrawniest, wimpiest little dude because he's not gonna have any other options and he's just gonna take their shit. That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I always say about my oldest, she'll say something. She'll say she's 5 and she'll say something psychologically damaging and then just walk away. And then whoever I'm standing next to, I'm like, she's going to leave a wake of young men behind her. Like, she's just going to destroy young men's lives.
That day that we came across one of your videos or something, I think it was something that you shared in the group. And Gage goes, "Who's that, Dad? She's cute." I'm like, no, I'm not putting you through that, son. I'm not doing that.
Well, they're also both going to be like 6 feet tall.
Yeah.
And like farm kids. So it's
and of course I'm short, so Gage is gonna be shorter. He's gonna be like looking up at your girls.
Pretty much. Yeah. Farm kids. Gotta love them. But yeah, no, it's the whole kids and content thing is weird. And it's like I've put my girls in a couple, and I've put them in a couple, but it's always been like very controlled and there's no real way to take anything out of context.
Yeah.
Like it's them being legitimately adorable and doing that. And I had a conversation with my wife and I was just like, she was like, "I don't like it." And I'm like, that's fine. And it's also one of those things, like we said, my content is offensive. It is meant to be offensive and funny. Like that's what my page is. I don't need to post my kids along with that. Like one, like my kids don't need to be involved with that. And 2, it does somewhat take away from like the algorithm of what you're trying to do. Like I feel TikTok in itself is nuts.
I'm the same way. Like, I mean, I probably have like 3 videos where I have some of my kids in them. You know, which, you know, when you're screaming at cows, it's, you know, like
you can't do it. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, like, here, I'm going to take my 1-year-old kid and throw her at a cow or something. You know, I mean, how do you, but you know what I mean? I guess I don't know. And I mean, you could like do the cute factor, like, well, I need some views. And I've done
like
that.
those are the only, it's like, oh, my kid's petting a pig.
Like, I'll make a video where like it's me talking. I know it's going to be kind of boring, and I'll be like, well, I'm going to hold my 1-year-old cute.
Those ones are funny. Those ones are funny where
Because-
you're saying something with a 1-year-old, and it's just like, is he a baby while he's saying this?
But, you know, and I mean, there's people, and this could go in a direction that Kyle could understand what I'm getting, and you could also use it to gain views. Also, you know, I don't know and I mean, there's people that make great content though, you know, with their kids, but I feel like
it's a fine line. It's a fine line of figuring it out.
Genre, though, you know what I mean?
Yeah, if you're putting your kids in content, you're putting your kids in almost every single video, and you are the wholesome family with the adorable child. Yeah. You're not gonna post one after it being like, oh, if she sees your feet, make a sign language. Like, you can't post that. You can't post that back to back.
You know, and what drives me absolutely flipping bananas is people that exploit their children for views. Like something's wrong with their kid, and to me, that is the most disgusting freaking thing that you could ever do, is exploit your kid for views on the internet.
Yeah. Well, it's like, you know, it's in a moment where you just go, as a parent, you look at it and you go, why is your camera out? Why is your camera even in your pocket while you're in this situation? What are you doing?
Exactly. And I literally can speak on that. I'm not going to get into it, but I mean, I can.
Right.
Kyle knows what I'm talking about. Right. You know, and I mean, that's why it disgusts me so much. It drives me mad when I see somebody doing that. Like, you are a pile of trash. You are literally taking a fuck situation that your kid is in, completely helpless situation, and you are using your kid, which is selfish and makes you a pile of shit to get views and sympathy off the internet, and that is disgusting.
Well, 100%. And it's like, we've all talked about it, and like, Joe, you're coming up, like, you're gaining followers. We're gonna get you there, I promise. But it's like Trioaks down here, he says he's in the 200 view jail, and it's like, I've talked to Fran, has gotten the brunt of a lot of my TikTok rants of like frustration of just how it all works. And it's like, now I'm not making money on TikTok anymore. I got out of the creator rewards program like 2 weeks ago, not even. And I went from all of my videos maybe getting 300 views, a couple of them maybe getting 4 if I'm lucky, to now I have a video a day that does 1,000 plus. And it's like, what are we doing? And Zach's gone down the rabbit hole because he's the real smart one of the group, so he can use the internet better than us. And he finds all the stuff, and he's seen stuff where it's like, oh yeah, no, they're throttling views because too many people are in the club now, and they can't afford to pay out all that money.
The thing is, it does not matter how many followers you have on TikTok. They shouldn't even have followers, because it does not matter. So like me, like, I can post an average video a certain time of the month, it'll go 10 million views. I can post the same video 2 weeks before. Like right now, my videos are getting around 10 to 20,000 a day, which is low for me. And then you give it, I can guarantee you, mark the calendars, about the middle of August. All of a sudden, all you're going to see is Farmer Fran on the FYP. They literally, like, everybody has a schedule. And that's why I'm getting so irritated with TikTok. And also, I think it's because I've went in a bad direction on TikTok. I kind of got into some political stuff. I had a lot of videos removed for harassment and bullying because I might not choose my words wisely. when I
Right.
get into an argument with somebody. But it was like June, I had like 30 million views in June. In July, I bet I only had 12 million. And
Right.
I really pissed I notably pissed TikTok off. Like,
Right.
my
And that's the thing
system's
is,
notification. Like, I'm on the
when
borderline. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if my account was banned by the end of August. Like, I really went down.
Right.
But the thing is, you can't speak freely on TikTok.
No. And but that's the thing is, like, we need to go into it like, I go into it knowing that. And I've gotten to the point with my channel now where I've gone over the line so much, I know the line. Like, I'm like,
you're basically shadow banned.
Yeah, pretty much. Not a lot of people.
They shadow banned you because you should, if you have 20,000 followers, you should be getting at least 10,000 views a post.
Right.
You really should. Yeah, they've definitely just
tossed me in the corner. Again, it's picking up. I don't know. If I start really picking up again, like, I'll get back into the rewards program. We'll see. But it's like it's just frustrating because it's like, I know my video. Like, I have 3 videos that are almost at 2 million views for me. Like, that's pretty good. And it's like, what are we doing? Like, I know my content's good. Like, I have fun with it. Yeah, I'm slightly offensive and I make jokes that normal people won't. And my content is what TikTok has deemed unsafe for people to view. Like, when it comes to the butchering stuff. And it's like, I can see that girl's labia, but what I do is offensive and people can't see it. So what, like, and it just gets frustrating because it's like, I put a lot of, like, when you get really into it with TikTok, you're posting a lot. Like, you're putting work. Like, it's work.
It's a business. It's literally a business to me. At this point, will I say will I sound arrogant if I get into that, Kyle?
No, just want to say, hi to Lisa. It's good to have you in here.
I can make $6,000 to $7,000 a month on TikTok, which is a good chunk of change. And I'm not saying that to be arrogant. I don't, by no means. I hope that doesn't. But
no,
and they're still throttling me back. But that's the weird thing. It's like they want me to stay, so they're like, well, we're still going to give you, because like July started and I pissed them off, and I'm like, well, shit, they're not going to let me make any money this month. And then in 1 week, I literally made all my money in July in 4 days. As soon as I hit that salary cap, boom, they dump my views back down to 10 to 20,000 views a video.
Now, because you have a bigger, like, again, you have a bigger account. Do you have contact with TikTok? Like, have you been able to actually talk to somebody at TikTok? Because that's been the most frustrating thing for me about it is they don't have customer service. Like, customer service for TikTok does not exist.
They don't. And I emailed them about something. I had a legal issue I emailed them about, and it took like 10 days to get a response back, and it was just a generic computer generated.
The original.
Basically, well, it had to do with that jack-off guy.
Right.
Because he doxed me. He literally doxed me, and that is a complete violation of the terms. And that's why I blocked the guy. It's like, if this guy will go so far to find out my real name and give out personal, like, what else would he do? Like, that guy's dangerous. He literally is dangerous. And that's why I just blocked him. And
it goes back to why are you hating on people on the, like, no, I'm not saying you, like, why are people hating on people on the internet? Listen, go, like, joke around. Like, you can make jokes, like, you can make jokes back and forth with people. Like, I have a handful of vegans that I, like, bounce back and forth on with stuff. They're very serious about it. I'm very not, but we still bounce back and forth on things, and it's somewhat stable. And it's like, then I have others that, like, have started reporting my things, and it's like,
Oh,
listen, man, you're not going to pass along the holy message on TikTok. TikTok is not going to be the place that people hear this and change their life. If they do, they are sponges. They're a sponge of a person that will suck up any trad or fan, or like they'll personality will change with as soon as you ring them back out. Like, it is what it is. Like, we're on TikTok. Have fun. Like,
well, that's basically what happened with that guy and me. You know, like I was just, you know, we'll go back and forth, and then I mean, he took it to the whole new level, and I was like, this guy's fucked. Like, I mean, like this guy will go to no bounds. You know, I mean, he has no like I said, I mean, he literally doxed me. Like, dude, you're effed in the head if you get
like
so insulted by Farmer Fran that you
like
have
to get back to
dox
what
me
we
and
talked about before the show, like how, and my joke at the beginning of the show is like, people like, I got a message today, like, hey man, I love your videos. They're great. Like, it's good to like this, that, and the other. People think we're like famous people. Like, just because we have a bigger following on TikTok, like especially you, like people are like, oh, this is my favorite person to watch. And he does this and he does that. Hey kids, guess what? I'm sitting at my kitchen counter surrounded by kids' toys and random farm implements that probably shouldn't be on the counter. And I'm like, I'm going to go sit on my ripped couch after this. Like, none of us are famous.
Yeah, no,
and
that's exactly.
To look back at it, it's like, yeah, this dude, he has 500,000 followers, and I've watched some of his stuff. Like, he doesn't do much, so he's famous on just being a douchebag.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that's like, listen, all the power to you to be a douchebag and make money off of it or whatever. I'm doing my best, but be funny about it. Don't be a dick. Like,
I mean, if the guy wants to square up, I mean, I'll do a bare knuckle boxing match with him, but he ain't gonna do that. But you know, like, to me, that's the only way. It's like, I mean, I'm to the point. I mean, it pissed me off being doxxed. I mean, that's bullshit.
Well, yeah, that's
and I mean, it's not like I'm trying to hide my identity, and it wouldn't be that hard to find out my real name. All you would have to do is create a TikTok shop account and then look at Farmer Fran account, and you'd find my email address and everything. I mean, it's not like I'm trying to keep my name private, but I mean, it all just goes back to like I said before it started, he's the type of person that cannot lose. I mean, like, you know, like he was like, well, Farmer Fran's not a real farmer, you know, which was a blatant lie, you know. And then I made a video proving like, well, hey, look here, I got property taxes on land that I pay. I got, you know,
went deep. I will fully admit you went deep into it.
You know, I mean, I pay over $100,000 a year in mortgages. You know, don't tell me I'm not a farmer. You know, I mean, on an average on a year, I spend over $200,000 in input costs. You know, don't tell me I'm not a farmer. You know, and then I prove him wrong there, and then he goes, "Well, you're in this program for farmers that only make under $100,000 a year." And it's like, you jackwagon, and that's what I get into. They just, you know, make up lies to where, you know, I could say something and he's just going to make up a lie and spin it. And it's like, there is no program with the FSA for making under $100,000. There's literally, you sign one document a year for how much money you make. And it's, you either make under $900,000 a year or over $900,000 a year. That's the only income-based document you ever sign at the FSA. There's nothing, there is no program that farmers are in if you make under 100,000. And I was going to make another video on that, and I was like, well, what's the point? I mean, there's literally,
there is no point.
You just as well throw stones at a brick wall with people like that. There's no point in continuing it, because they're just going to twist everything, and his followers just eat it up. And I mean, I'm to the point, I just don't give a shit. Like, they want to come and spam my posts, the seagulls, I call them seagulls. It's like, come, all you're doing is boosting me on the algorithm.
Right.
Come, I welcome you. And that's why, if you watch that video I put out today with the corn getting beat up, that's literally everything I said in there. I said that just to piss off the seagulls.
Right. Lisa coming in with a banger. Now Farmer Fran is famous. I see him on Waterboy. It appears he looks a little bit different than I remember. How you haven't done that yet? How you haven't done anything with that yet? I'm shocked.
And that's why I get the seagulls that go, well, you have a girl's name. It's like, that's not even my real name, and who gives a shit? Like, I mean,
that's where it's weird, where it's like, because I know, like, one of my big things I do now, which is actually everyone seems to be loving, and I love it. I think it's fun, is Red's nightly thirst traps. I just use all of the like OnlyFan girl filters in CapCut with my 500-pound boar, and just put whatever music in the background that they're using, and I think it's freaking hysterical. And I've had more engagement on these videos now that I'm doing them every day, that it's like, oh yeah, like once I got out of the creator program, there was a weight that kind of came off, because it was like, right. I feel like I moved away from what I have been doing, which has been funny and like just goofy stuff, and I was actually being informational, which again is fine, and I was slipping in some funny things here and there, but it was also like this is different. And now that I'm off of that and I'm like just putting out funny stuff again, it feels nice. And it's like, oh, like I enjoy this again, because I was where you were. I was like, this is fucking bullshit. Right. Like I was getting genuinely upset about it. And I'm like, hey, Kyle, it's an app based out of China that shows nonsense. Like you're getting upset over this. And I would get upset. It's like, they're stopping me from making money. And it's like, you shouldn't be able to make money on this anyway. Like, why are you getting upset about it?
Right. But like, if you notice, my content will change through the month. Like the beginning of the month, I'm trying to be funny. And as the month goes on, I put out more and more like just informational videos about what I'm doing. Right. And that's because at the beginning of the month, like right now, I'm trying to earn money, trying to make my money for the month. And I hate like the yelling at cows video. I fucking hate doing those, but they make the money. And then as soon as I'm salary capped, I just make the content. Like, I don't like yelling at, like, I just like making like going out in the cornfields, and showing corn or talking about a piece of equipment. That's the content I like to make. But that content doesn't make me money, though, because these kids, for some weird reason, they just want to see me scream at cows.
Lisa, I love you, hon. You're going to be waiting for that one for a while. Those things are sitting in a water trough right now, massive. Well,
still soaking.
They're just still in there, and I haven't done anything to them. And I talked to the person, and I was like, listen, I'm hoping they're fine. I should not have taken these on. I do not have the time, and I am going to do my best to make sure that they are good. They are not going to be the quality they used to be when all I did was European taxidermy, but they will get done in one way or another. So they're coming. They're coming. It's just not going to happen for a bit, and I'm hopefully going to film it, or it might just be in the middle of the night.
Do it, get it done out the door.
Yeah. So we'll see. But yeah, to all of my people, I have a video coming out tomorrow on YouTube, and it's mostly an apology, like kind of explanation video of, hey, this is why I haven't been on YouTube lately. Because I understand it's been a bit. I've popped a handful out every now and then, but so there's going to be a whole video on that. So for all of my YouTube people, I do apologize. But yeah, well, we're coming up on an hour here. Fran, it's been fantastic. We're having you back. You'll be back because this has been super fun. Where can everyone find you?
TikTok.
Okay.
Instagram. TikTok, Fran. Instagram.
Yep. The link to his TikTok is in the description of this video. So you can click right on the video, both on the video and the audio side, and it'll take you right to his TikTok. So
also just search Farmer Fran on Instagram. I'm not big on Instagram, but I'm just basically starting on there. So
yeah,
I'm there also because I got people making copycat accounts everywhere. So I was like, well, I just won't beat them to Instagram.
Mm-hmm. Joseph.
And
Well, usually, as long as we keep it rolling again, we're doing a pretty good job. What are we at? 3 weeks in a row now again?
I know. I saw Digger on there. He said he was proud of us. We made it 2 weeks in a row.
I think we're at least 3 weeks in a row now.
I think it is 3 weeks in a row.
Yeah. Weekly here on Meet the Critters. Blakesley Acres on Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. And then over in the Critter Crew Telegram chat. Bouncing back and forth. We finally reopened the shop, and it's like we went from balls of the wall construction to balls of the wall processing, like no break. So I'm trying to get back into doing some more videos. I want to do like a final, showing what the shop's become since the last video I did, and getting those put out there. And I need to do one I'm like 2-3 months behind on content on YouTube. So
yeah,
now I've got the SD card and stuff on my phone. I can start doing more longer format videos for YouTube again. Just getting the time to do it. Because I'm working 7 days a week. Like today, we weren't here. We had a 4-H auction that we attended to fill out cut sheets and stuff. So 7 days a week on just the shop. I'm still catching up on farm stuff and then trying to catch up on the social media. So we'll get there.
It's never a dull moment.
Nope.
Never a dull moment. And as always, you can find me here on YouTube at Backwoods Butcher 603. And that is the same for everywhere. TikTok, Instagram, even though it's a wasteland that I never post anything on, we're still there. If people start following me, I'll start posting more. But until that happens, I don't have the strength. I appreciate everybody. This has been a fun one. Fran, thank you again for coming on.
Yeah,
We'll
thanks.
see everybody next time.
later up.